First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Evan Moon.
And I'm Nicolette Perdomo. Here are our top stories tonight. Cuddly pets carrying harmful bacteria, how they might be getting you sick, coming up.
Plus, a shooting on a college campus killing one. Where it happened, coming up. We begin tonight with breaking news. The death toll rises. 2 more former residents of a South Florida nursing home that lost power during Hurricane Irma are dead. Police identified them as Cecilia Franco and Francesca Andrade. Officials have not released the pair's exact cause of death. The Rehabilitation Center at Hollywood Hills lost electricity during Hurricane Irma, leaving senior residents with no air conditioning. More than 100 patients were evacuated from the home after 3 patients were found dead inside on September 13th. Since then, close to a dozen former residents have died, and the facility has been temporarily shut down.
North Central Florida health organizations are preparing for Affordable Care Act open enrollment. The Swanee River Area Health Education Center is adjusting to federal budget cuts that slashed advertising dollars and shortened the enrollment period. The Trump administration reduced Affordable Care Act outreach spending by a total of 72% back in August. Americans also had 3 months to enroll for affordable health care. Now there's only 6 weeks. With a tighter budget and less time for people to enroll, AHEC Navigator Program Coordinator Ashley Williams says they're doing their best to rise up to the challenge.
So what we're trying to do right now is really reach out to our prior partners, reach out to people that we've helped in the past, and let them know that they only have 6 weeks this year and they really need to try to get in early. We're trying to schedule appointments ahead of time, which usually we would kind of wait till November 1st to kind of start that outreach.
Williams also says the Swanee River AHEC will still spend dollars and time alerting the community to Affordable Care Act open enrollment dates. Enrollment starts November 1st and continues until December 15th.
Well, I'm a little upset that the past few days haven't really felt like fall.
Yeah, when I walked outside this morning, it was really hot and really humid. WUFT's Lee Southwick joins us from the Weather Center. Lee, is this normal to feel these type of weathers?
Well, let me tell you this. The normal temperature for today is 83 degrees. That's for your high. And right now, temperature is 90 in Gainesville, 88 in Ocala, 92 in Lake City. So no, this is way above average. Here's your heat index. These are what it feels like outside. 98 degrees in Gainesville, 99 in Ocala. It is hot and humid. There's also some showers. There is a line extending from Cross City towards the Jacksonville area. Everywhere north of that is where moisture is sitting. So we do have some showers and downpours near Lake City and Live Oak and Mayo, and also in the southern parts of Marion County heading into Bellevue. But overall, this should be clearing out by midnight. And coming up, I'll tell you if we can expect some rain this weekend. Back to you.
Thanks, Lee. A bacteria carried by dogs and resistant to antibiotics is causing pet owners across the nation to become ill. It is now being traced back to dogs from Petland chain stores. The bacteria, known as Campylobacter, affects the gastrointestinal tract. Symptoms include fever, diarrhea, and abdominal pains in humans. Shores Animal Hospital veterinarian Alexandra Meyer says dogs can contract the bacteria if they eat worms. This is especially common during the wet season. She advises pet owners to constantly wash their hands and keep areas as sterile as possible.
They're not always fully potty trained, and they love to crawl all over you, and they may have feces on their rear end. They could potentially poop on the floor, and even if you pick it up, you still have to actually disinfect it because Campylobacter can stay in the environment.
Yeah. Animals are not always obvious, but they might not be as active and have no appetite. So far, 12 people have been affected in Florida and have tested positive for the bacteria.
And members of the Alachua County Farmers Market have complained solicitors are disrupting their market.
They say solicitors scare away customers without having to pay dues to rent spaces like the other vendors. WUFT's Mary Grace Scully is live at the Alachua County Board of Commissioners and has more on this story.
Go. Nicolette and Evan, I went to the county commission meeting this morning where board members of the Alachua County Farmers Market say they have many concerns about the market's new lease. Board members say 42 spots at the market are reserved by members that pay $240 per year to reserve spots under the market pavilion. Board Commissioner Jordan Brown says there are outside organizations that set up outside the pavilion. He says he sees no problem with solicitors as long as they follow the same rules. He says the new lease implies solicitors can roam about the market without any restrictions. County commissioners say the market is on public property, which makes it a matter of First Amendment rights, but concluded there needs to be guidelines for solicitors collecting the tickets. And the farmers market board members tell me the motion wasn't ideal because it was more of a compromise than they were hoping for. However, they do say that it was a step in the right direction. They also say that they are going to make a solicitation policy instead of an official rule change. Live from downtown Gainesville, Mary Grace Scully, WUFT News.
Thank you, Mary Grace. And several parks in Alachua County experienced extensive damage from the storm, and 2 of those parks are still closed 1 month later. Earl P. Powers and Post Springs parks are still underwater and closed. Powers Park is now surrounded by a 6-foot chain-linked fence and blocked by orange cones. Alachua County Parks Director Charlie Howder says cleanup crews cannot access the parks because the soil is so saturated. Once the ground dries up, there will be plenty to clean up.
So here at Powers Park, we have a couple of large trees down that need to be removed. We're also going to have to do a little bit more damage assessment where the dock is, set it back in place, and look at the condition of our picnic shelters and play structures.
According to Howder, Powers Park is expected to open within the next 30 days, but Post Springs, located on the Santa Fe River, experienced more damage and is expected to take a little longer to reopen. And more than a dozen wildfires are burning out of control in Napa and Sonoma counties of Northern California, and additional fires burning in the south in Orange County.
At least 1,500 structures are destroyed and thousands of people have been forced to evacuate. Major roadways have been shut down as firefighters work to stop these fires driven by powerful winds. Jennifer Bjorklund reports from Napa, California.
A raging firestorm ripped through Northern California's wine country Monday, fueled by dry conditions and wind gusts topping 50 miles per hour.
It's like Armageddon out here.
It's insane. I've never seen anything like it.
15 fires are burning in 8 counties, taking down more than 1,500 structures, scorching vineyards and wineries, leaving at least 11 dead, and reports of more than 100 missing.
And this behind me is just a small snapshot of what's taking place. Resources actually continue to pour into this area, as well as different areas within the state, to mitigate these situations.
Thousands of people are under evacuation orders across Northern California, including 2 hospitals. California Highway Patrol used choppers to rescue dozens of people in their cars trapped by flames. Hundreds of firefighters attacking the blaze from the air and the ground.
We've got blocks and blocks and blocks of homes that are completely destroyed, neighborhoods that are destroyed.
Including the house that once belonged to Jose Vigil and his family, who narrowly escaped the fire.
The wind was so strong and so noisy, and the people driving crazy to try to get out.
In Southern California, another wind-fueled fire tore through Anaheim with smoke and flames visible from Disneyland. At least 6 homes burned to the ground.
And literally, this just went up in seconds.
Resources across the state stretched thin as investigators look for the cause to what started these deadly fires. Jennifer Bjorklund, NBC News, Napa.
As of this afternoon, at least 15 people have died.
And a Florida police officer and a gunman were both rushed to the hospital after shots were fired at a bar late Monday night. Police in Sebastian, Florida responded to a bar where a suspect wanted on a warrant had been spotted. The suspect opened fire when deputies approached. As a result, 1 officer and the suspect were caught in the crossfire. Commander John Blackledge of Sebastian Police Department says it's unclear if the injured officer was hit by the suspect's bullets. The names of the officer and the suspect have not been released.
1 man is in custody after police say he shot and killed a Texas Tech University police officer. Police say the shooter is Hollis Daniels, a Texas Tech freshman. Police were on a welfare check at Daniels' residence and found evidence of drugs and drug paraphernalia. Officers took Daniels to the police station for debriefing. While at the station, he pulled a gun and shot an officer in the head and fled on foot. He was later captured. The name of the dead officer has not been released.
Coming up on WUFT News First at 5, a presidential tweet storm this morning. We'll show you how President Trump continues to take on his own party.
And blue skies over the University of Florida, the heat index in the upper 90s. Coming up, I'll tell you how warm we're going to feel over the next few days.